Hi, everybody. It's Frank here. We'll go live. Well, we are live. We'll start in about 2 minutes at straight up noon. So if you're here, thanks for joining a little bit early. And hopefully you can hear me okay. Got my fancy microphone here, got my glass of water, got my notes. I think I'm all set. So, anyway, I appreciate you being here. We've got some folks joining in. More folks joining in. And this is, since we haven't officially started yet, I appreciate you all being here. This is my first live webinar. I've done more than 10,000 hours of workshops and things live with people. This is my first experience like this. So I'm a little nervous. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some exercises for you. I even learned something putting this together. So I'm going to share what I learned this morning too. So that's very exciting. All right, and the numbers are growing. We're getting more people jumping on here on YouTube. We had a few technical glitches putting this together. I'm not the world's best technical person, but I am pretty darn good with the whole communication thing. So I think we're in for a treat. And we'll kind of see what happens. So it is noon. Let's go ahead and get started. So welcome to the Creating Resonance Mini Workshop. I'm your host, Frank Keck, and for the next few minutes, I'll be sharing some proven techniques to help you become a super communicator. Imagine, if you will, stepping inside of someone's brain for a moment. You see what they see, you feel what they feel. You now understand why they're doing what they're doing. Is it science fiction? No. Is it scary? Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little scary. Is it possible? Absolutely. And so I want to get that journey started with you all this morning and teach you a few things about how to become a super communicator, how to better set yourself up for success and to set the other person or the other people up for success. So just a little bit about me. My name is Frank Keck. I think that's about the third time I've said that. And for more than 25 years, I've dedicated my life to better understanding what makes people tick. And how can I better understand them in a fast and simple way? Because I have a short attention span and I'm a pretty simple guy. So how do I understand people quickly and simply? I've been teaching other people what I've been learning. I've experienced over 3,000 different workshops through the years, all over the United States and in several foreign countries. And I've been using this technology to help me build relationships and grow businesses. And now I'm making it available to you. So we're going to start with an exercise. If you don't have a piece of paper and a pen, that's fine. You can just talk out loud. Just talk back to me, look at me, and just have a conversation with me. So whatever works for you. If you have a piece of paper, get out your piece of paper and something to write with. And when I say go, well, first go ahead and draw a circle on your paper. It doesn't matter how big or small, just draw a circle. And when I say go, you have 1 minute to write down as many things as you can think of that circle could be. So if you're going to write them down, write them down. If you're going to talk to the screen, talk to the screen. I want you to keep track of how many. It doesn't matter what they are. Just keep track of how many you come up with. And we will do 1 minute. Ready, set, go. Write down as many things as you can think of that circle could be. All right, and stop. I want you to count up how many you came up with. Just count up how many you came up with. Now, the average adult, when we do this, the average adult comes up with somewhere between 8 and 15. Between 8 and 15. The highest I've ever seen an adult come up with is 23. But when I do this exercise with 7-year-olds, the average 7-year-old score is 27. And so I ask, what's the difference between a 7-year-old and us? Well, 7-year-olds, their minds are more open. They're open to learn. They're open to being wrong because they understand that's how we learn, is by making mistakes. But we become adults and it's like, well, I'm not supposed to make mistakes, right? I have to be perfect. But if you do that, right, you probably edit it as you went. No, it can't be that. It couldn't be that. It could be a picture of a bald guy from space. It could be a donut. It could be a donut hole. It could be a basketball, a baseball, a football from from top, right? It could be the top of somebody's head. It could be a circle. It could be a hole. It could be a manhole cover. It could be a tire. So there's just all kinds of things that it could be, but we get stuck. Our brains get stuck because of pressure, because of stress, and we don't want to be wrong. Now, why do this at the beginning of this workshop? What does this have to do with communication? Well, what happens is as you think one thing, as you do one thing, is how you do everything. What this shows you is how your mind works. Are you open to learning and trying new things, or maybe you're stuck in a rut you're not even aware of? So over the next few minutes, as we are here together, I'm going to give you some things, and a lot of it is I want you to think about it. I'll give you a few exercises to try and to take out, and then we've got more workshops coming, so I'll tell you about that at the end. You see, people are very simple. We're hardwired at birth. We're given the ability to develop skills and habits to build our strengths and mitigate our weaknesses. And what I'm going to teach you is how to use neurological signals, signs that people do without thinking, to climb in their brain and better understand them. Sounds a little freaky. It actually is a hell of a lot of fun, and I think you will enjoy it. All right, so in order to do this effectively, I'm going to introduce you to a simple and effective process that I discovered that helps improve my skill and aptitude and my aptitude development about 1,000%. So anyway, what I learned and what I want you to think about, and if you'll just jot this down, and this is brand new, I haven't thought about this before this morning. When it comes to communication, are you in prover mode or seeker mode? There's a huge difference, and we're going to talk about that as we go through. So what I want to teach you today, I call it the 3 C's process. I'd like to have a better name for it, but that's all I could come up with. And but these are the 3 C's. This helps. Today I want to teach you, how do you put your brain in the right mental state to be able to be a super communicator, to communicate effectively and really understand yourself and other people. So the first C is curiosity mindset. This is where it all begins, is with curiosity. You see, when humans get emotionally involved with something, no matter what it is, we move to a judgmental mindset. We want to protect ourselves. We want to prove ourselves. A judgmental mindset says that there's right and there's wrong. There's black, there's white. You can or you can't. It's very two-dimensional. But you guys, that's not really how life completely is. What if you get rid of that judgmental mindset? You see, when you have that mindset and you approach somebody else from being a judgmental mindset, I am here to prove I'm right. And if you say what I think and you agree with me, then you're right too. If not, then you're wrong. We get into that mindset and we're not even aware of it. So when you listen to other people from a judgmental mindset, you're listening to see, do they share my perspective? Or are they wrong? And how do I fix them? We don't like admitting that this is where our thoughts preside, but preside here they do. That kind of sounded like Yoda, didn't it? All right, I had some judgmental mindset this morning. I had some of these technical glitches go wrong, and it kind of put me into a funk, and I had to do the techniques that I'm about to teach you to get myself back in the proper mindset to be able to give you all 100% of me this morning, but also to be able to give myself to my family. And so I worked through it using the tools I'm about to teach you. All right, so what's the opposite of a judgmental mindset? Curiosity. With a curiosity mindset, you're seeking understanding. You want to learn. Why is it that 7-year-olds are 10 times as creative as most adults? Because their minds are open to learning. They're not so judgmental. They know that a wrong answer is not a failure. A wrong answer is one step closer to the truth. The first step in the threes process is oh so important. Once you have the curiosity mindset, you're now in a very powerful position, a position so powerful that now as you approach people, they will open up much more. They will be much more open to you and to what you have to say than if you approach them from a judgmental mindset. They will literally feel a different energy emanating from you when you live in curiosity than when you're living in judgment. Everything about how you approach them is different. Your body language is more open and more relaxed. Your voice intonation is more relaxed and more positive. The words you choose, how you put them out there, everything is different. It's seeking input, not seeking right or wrong. I'll say that again. You're seeking input and learning. You're not seeking right or wrong. The other interesting thing to me about curiosity mindset is that other people's brains can detect when you're coming from curiosity, when you're coming from judgment. Think about it. When was the last time that you felt like you were being judged for no apparent reason? Might have been from somebody else, might have been from yourself, right? Because we do this to ourselves a lot as well. But it was like the other person was sizing you up, and it didn't matter what you did, you were going to be wrong. So you just kind of shut down automatically. Well, this is what happens when we approach people from that judgmental mindset. The feeling you get from a judgmental mindset approach coming from you or from anyone, it feels different. You literally vibrate at a different frequency when you're in the curiosity mindset from when you're in the judgment mindset. And we pick those vibes up from other people subconsciously, even though consciously you're not aware of it. Everything in the universe vibrates. Studies have shown that the higher frequency you vibrate within our human field of vibration, the healthier that is. The lower the frequency, the more unhealthy. So you're probably saying, Frank, how do I get into the curiosity mindset? If you haven't said that, go ahead and say it out loud. Frank, how do I get into the curiosity mindset? Thank you so much for asking. Step number 1, start by taking 3 deep breaths and exhaling 1 breath at a time, kind of like this. You don't have to close your eyes if you don't want, but so 3 deep breaths. You can probably feel your breath starting to relax. My voice sounds a little bit different to me, right? I'm starting to relax even a little bit more. Now you can continue to take some deep breaths, right? That will help you to kind of get into that relaxed state. And now what I want you to do is take one of your hands and pinch your thumb and your forefinger together. It's one of my favorite exercises. And you don't have to hold yours up. You can hold them wherever you want, but I do want you to look at them. And I want you to focus on your index finger. That's this one. And I want you to just feel your index finger pushing against your thumb. Isn't that cool how you can just concentrate on the finger pushing against the thumb? Okay, now I want you to focus on your thumb. I want you to feel your thumb pushing against your finger. Simply by shifting your focus, you guys, you can completely change what you're aware of. Now, the cool thing about this exercise is when you focus on your fingers, which is kind of dorky, kind of ridiculous, I get it, right? But whatever mental and emotional state you were in, that stopped. And you now want to relax. And so your mental and emotional state now was relaxed and you went looking. This is a 30-second, 60-second meditation piece. You can do it anytime you want, but it will help to calm you. And if you're in a judgy state, it'll help you to get out of that judgy state. So 60-second meditation, take deep breaths, put your index finger and your thumb together. That's the second step. And then the third step is start asking questions. So again, if you have a piece of paper, and you want to start writing them down, that's great. If you want to just talk back to me to your screen out loud, that's fine too, right? But start with why. Why ask questions? I just want you to ask them, don't answer them. I know it's weird, but just ask these questions to get yourself started. Why does Frank want me to ask questions? How many do I have to ask? What color are my socks? Why did I pick these socks today? What's my favorite food? Do I have heartburn? How does my hair look? Do I have something in my nose? How did my COVID test come out? What's the name of my favorite animal? What's my wife doing right now? Is she paying attention? What are 3 things I'm most grateful for at this moment? Why am I grateful for these things? How many more questions do I have to ask? Are my socks comfortable? What am I going to do tomorrow? What are we having for dinner? What color is red? Does everybody see red the same? So you guys, in about 15 to 30 seconds, we asked a bunch of questions. It doesn't matter what the questions are, but you want to get yourself practiced in asking questions. And I like to use the word to myself, use the word wonder. I wonder, right? And then you can finish that sentence. Now focus back here. Now that we've gone through those 3 steps, your brain is now in seeking mode, not proving mode. We're looking for the answers to those questions. We're mentally relaxed, right? You took the breaths. And so now your brain is in seeking mode, not proving mode. You're in curiosity mindset, not judgmental mindset. Yeah, your brain will go back to judgmental mindset. You can do these 3 exercises anytime you want and come back here. Seeking mode is the mode that we use the most as children. We seek new information. We seek to learn new things. We make new friends. We have fun. We seek lots of fun as kids. Congratulations, your brain is now in seeking mode. The second step in the 3 C's process is seeking clarity. So the first step put you into seeking mode. Now that you're in seeking mode, I want you to continue to ask questions, but to do it a bit differently. First of all, we should practice asking questions, right? If you want to be good at a skill, you practice it. Practice makes permanent. Perfect practice makes perfect. But we don't practice asking questions, and then we wonder, well, gosh, why didn't I think of that question when I had the opportunity? Because you hadn't thought of it ahead of time. So how do you get better? Write them down. Leonardo da Vinci, one of my favorite people of all time, when he passed away, they found journal after journal after journal of nothing but questions that he had written. See, he would ask questions every day. So there's a book that was written by Michael Gelb called How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci. And one of the tools in that book is to sit down and just write out questions for 20 minutes. And you'd be amazed at where your brain goes with that. And just, it's free flow thinking, but man, it will really go and you'll have some fun. But what you're doing is you're practicing being in that curiosity mindset. Write a question down and then follow up with it. Keep going down that path. Don't just accept the first idea or answer. Dig down and ask, keep going layer after layer. We call it peeling the onion. So ask a follow-up question and a follow-up question and a follow-up question. Ask more specific questions. A lot of the questions that we tend to ask are what questions. I want you to ask why questions. Why helps us understand what's the motivation behind it, not just what we're doing. So you can ask who, what, where, when, why, how, and was. So there's a lot of different questions. Why is a very powerful question and stimulates a different part of your brain than the what, the where, the how, the when. So all those questions, I want you to just practice doing those. Again, focus on asking questions. Don't worry about the answers. Just practice asking the questions, asking follow-up questions. Be very curious. Those of you that have been in classes with me know that I can be relentless with asking questions, but it's not because I want to prove somebody wrong. It's because I really want to understand and I'm really, really curious. The more questions you ask, the more you will learn. It's amazing. If you want to communicate with somebody, ask them questions. It's amazing what you can learn by asking questions and then listening. You become smarter, you become more innovative by asking more questions and then listening and asking up follow-up questions. So many times we go to communicate and we just start spraying out all this information at the other person. We have no idea if they're actually listening or not. We have no idea how they would like to receive the information or if they're even in a mindset where they could receive our communication, let alone understand it. So this is why we must seek clarity, which is the second step. Who are you communicating with? Are they present in this moment? Are they in a space where they can receive your information? In our upcoming Creating Resonance micro course, we will teach you how to read all of these things in about 60 seconds. Before you start to communicate to the other person, ask yourself, what is my desired outcome? Why am I even communicating with this person? What do I want them to do with the information I'm sharing with them? Why am I sharing it with them? Why would they choose to do that? Is it because of coercion? Is it because of fear? Is it because of desire? Is it because of happiness? You see, there's very difference why people decide to do things. When you have negative emotions, fear and coercion, that doesn't really make somebody engage. It makes them fearful. They want to protect themselves. They'll do it to be protected, but they're not going to give you their best effort. That comes when they want to do it. Remember, WIIFM, what's in it for me? That's what they're thinking of. That's what we want to share with them. So find out what they want. As Zig Ziglar taught me a long time ago, you can get anything you want in life by helping other people get what they want. And that's exactly what the Seeking Clarity piece is about, is what do they want? How can I help them to get that based on what I want them to do or need them to do? The third step is one of my favorites, one of my three favorites, because there's only 3 steps. And my wife, Rachel, helped me with this. It's celebration. I don't think we celebrate enough, right? Celebrating's fun. There's a song about it. I'd sing it, but that probably wouldn't be celebrating. But we don't celebrate nearly enough. Celebrating people makes them feel good about themselves. Rachel and I were on a walk the other day, and there are these 2 little kids, and they had on they're riding their tricycles, and they had on their little helmets with looked like a dinosaur thing on the top of it, right? The spikes or whatever. They were really cool looking. And I said, hey, those are really cool looking helmets, right? And Rachel's like, you can't pass anybody without like giving them a compliment. She said, you're celebrating them. And I was like, oh man, I hadn't thought about it like that. But you guys celebrate people. That makes them feel better. It makes you feel better. It creates more of the positive energy, right? It's actually love, even if you don't want to say that. It creates positive emotional attractors, which is what our brain seeks. It's what motivates our brain to move forward. So celebrating people helps you create positive emotional attractors that gets people to want to do what you suggest, and it creates that connection with them. Also, very simply put, behavior rewarded is behavior repeated. If you want someone to repeat a behavior, you got to reward the behavior. Think about all the things you do in your life that you do to celebrate. Why do you celebrate them? If you could spend more of your time celebrating and less time worrying, how much more awesome would your life be? And you can. All you have to do is choose. Write down, here's the final thing, write down 20 things that you could celebrate. We call these things that we appreciate, things that we're grateful for. Now, what if you could have more of those things? So after you write down your 20 things that you're grateful for, 20 things that you appreciate, 20 things that you celebrate, I want you to write them down in this phrase. I am grateful for blank, whatever that is, and I want more of it. I want you to write these 20 things down, and I want you to repeat these every morning when you get up and every night before you go to sleep. And then in 30 days, I want you to see how much more of these things you're attracting into your own life. By focusing on what you want, your subconscious brain goes out and makes it happen. It finds those things. You get what you focus on. This is the universal law of attraction. You attract those things that you think about, positive or negative. Think about positive things, you get positive. Think about negative things, you get negative. It's your choice. So the 3 C's are a great way to start to become a super communicator. Super communicators want to create win-win scenarios. They want everyone to get what they want, just like Zig Ziglar taught us a long time ago. As you start doing this, you're going to start changing how your neural pathways in your brain are formed by doing these exercises that I taught you this morning. You'll notice the way that you receive information and the way that your information is received is now becoming very different. How you look at people, how they look at you, how you communicate with them, all of that's going to change simply by doing these 3 things. It's like magic, you guys. It isn't magic. It's a process, and it's a focus, and it's a discipline. But it's pretty simple, and as I've just outlined it. So again, the 3 steps. The first one is to be curious. Put yourself in a curiosity mindset. Seek clarity. Seek to understand and celebrate like hell. That's it for this mini workshop today. Before we wrap things up, we have a part 2 coming up next week, if the tech works. And hopefully I will get on top of that this afternoon. We're going to make it work. I'm going to go hire somebody, I think, to do the tech piece. And in part 2, we're going to share a couple more tools with you. And then we, starting on August the 24th, the Creating Resonance micro course. I'm really excited about it. There's 5 tools, 5 super tools to read neurological signals to help you get in the right mindset, kind of like what we talked about today, where today's were good. These are super tools, so it's even more exciting. So if you go to our website, frank@corebuild.solutions, you can sign up there, or we will send a follow-up email for part 2, which is on Monday, or for the micro course, which starts on the 24th. Anyway, thanks so much for coming. We made it. I got through it. And you guys have been great. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.